Hello, 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 and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Lakeisha, how are you? How are you? It's good to see you in here. Hey, Z, hello, happy Sunday. It is Sunday. I cannot believe it's Sunday. I think this weekend flew by. I am, just trying to get settled here. I have to be ready to leave when I leave this live to go to my daughter's gymnastics class. And then after gymnastics, we are going to the movies. We're going to the movies. And then tomorrow I have a busy day because my daughter has 2 appointments. And so, yeah, I feel like I have a lot going on. Like when things are on my to-do list, I want to get them off. So how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing in the chat? Um, I will say I am pretty excited that spring is coming because between this perimenopause and the hot flashes, I have on lip gloss and I feel like it's a bit much. Between the hot flashes and the perimenopause and the weather, I just can't keep it together. I'm like hot 1 minute, I'm cold the next. So if you see what I have on, I am cold. I have on a hat that's like a sweater material, and I have on a sweater. And I started to wear short sleeves, but I thought at the movies they might have the air on, or they might have the door, people going in and out of the door. It might be really chilly by the time I get there. So I thought a sweater is the best bet. So we'll see, because then I might have a hot flash in the movies. I can always take off my hat though. I can always do that. So hey Kim and Brown Velvet, how are you? So I'm going to tell you guys about my week. Let me pull up my little weight. I hope it doesn't pop up so you guys will be able to see it. Ah, it did pop up. No. Did you see it? I should have already had it up. I had it up. Then when you close this, it closes down. So I'm still learning StreamYard, even though I'm on it all the time. I just do the basics. I guess it's probably a lot more you can do. So so yeah, this week was a kind of a tough week for me. In that I still feel like I'm not organized. Like I wasn't able to meal prep again like I wanted to meal prep. And that's because, I'm eating salmon and I don't, I usually, when I meal prep, like, I used to meal prep like chili, spaghetti, meals that you could, prepare on a Sunday and they last to like 3 or 4 days. Well, I don't want to have salmon that I'm eating 4 days later. So, and you know how I do heat things up. I'm not one of those people that can't eat leftovers, but you know how fish just tastes good when it's like freshly cooked. So 1 or 2 days is not bad, but to do it for 3 or 4 days. And then sometimes I forget to take it out the freezer. And then, of course, it's not thawed out in enough time. And you can do it in the air fryer. I do know that. But I feel like that's a lot of time to be in that air fryer. So I just have to get, more organized. So today, I hope I don't remember. I should have set a clock. So today, I need to take that salmon out and thaw it out. So even if I don't cook it until tomorrow, it could be ready to go. And salmon is not that hard to cook, so that's a good thing. But, so basically I have been eating fruits and vegetables. It's been sending me to that restroom, which is a good thing. So I've been going to the restroom. But one of the things that I have not been doing is drinking enough water. I haven't been drinking enough water, and sometimes purposefully so, because, of course, when you're, at work, you're sharing the restroom with people. And I try to prevent going as much as I can. Like if I can hold it, I will hold it. But being 52, I can't hold it that long. But back when I was younger, I could hold it forever. And I've had some, students over the years, like 20 years ago. I remember 20 or 25 years ago. So this boy is almost 30 years old now. But he never went to the restroom. He never went. Like when we lined up as a group to go, he never went. He never asked to go to the restroom. And I always just like wondered how he did that. And I was like, geez, Louise, I need to try that. And when I was in my 20s, I could do it. When I got to my 30s, it was a little bit more manageable. when I hit 40, there's no way. Like I can't hold it even if I wanted to. But I do try to like not go as much. So like I know how far I can go. And it's a mental thing too. Because haven't you guys ever went to the bathroom? You were holding it, and you held it for 20 hours, it feels like. And as soon as you get to the restroom, you can't hold it anymore. It's like it has to come out. It's like when it sees where it needs to be, it has to come out. And so I was preventing myself from going. So yesterday, I want to say Thursday, maybe it was Friday, I got a call, a text from my cousin saying that her mom was in the hospital. And I haven't seen her mom and I don't know when, but she's always such a nice lady. Every time I see her, she's just, like she's kind of like one of those, the life of the party type of people. And so to hear that she was in the hospital, it just threw me for a loop. And so, but so my cousin told me, and I thought, am I going to go to the hospital to see her? And and you guys might be thinking, well, wouldn't you go? Well, being in the hospital, going to funerals. Ever since my mom and dad passed, and my niece. So I don't know if you watched my Downsize interview, but I talk about my dad passed away. Then my niece was hit by a car and killed, probably like in April, and then in July, my mom passed, and I'm praying the whole time my mom passed that she wouldn't pass on my birthday. She passed close to my birthday, but not on my birthday, because I just thought, that would be such a damper for me. So, I've had a lot of, just tragic things going on. And so I haven't been the same with going to funerals and all of that ever since. And I really only go to a funeral as if it's somebody like close in the family. If it's somebody close in the family, the family circle, through marriage or however, I'll go. And if I actually have to go. And so, and there hasn't been really a lot of funerals where I felt like I had to be there. And so, and going to a hospital and seeing someone. So when I got the call on Friday, or the text that, this was going on with her, I said a quick prayer, and, the answer I got back was that you need to go. And so I did. But one of the things I did was I didn't drink anything. I said, I'm not drinking any liquids at all, because I did not want to have to go to the restroom in the hospital. Now, the hospital she's in ICU, and it's super clean. It's super clean. From what I can see, it looks clean, but I still just didn't want to go because the whole germ thing, being in the hospital to begin with. So I thought if I could avoid going to that restroom, I will. So I didn't drink any water. Well, then when I got home, we ate late too. And, normally I eat before 7:30. Well, I couldn't because I was at the hospital. Well, so when I got home, I ate and I drank a little bit. So I ate light and drank a little bit. And I didn't really drink a lot of water because I didn't want to be up all night going to the restroom. This was beyond when I cut my drinking and eating off. So I just that was like an unexpected struggle for me just to have that in there. But so I just couldn't believe it. I was like, geez, Louise, I couldn't. And then the next day, so that was yesterday. Well, it was Friday. No, today's Sunday. That was Friday. So on Saturday, I didn't really find myself, I tried to drink to catch up, but I just couldn't do it. I was going to the restroom so much. When you're eating cucumbers and celery, a lot of that stuff, has lots of water already. The water content is so high as it is that, just kind of made me leery. And I didn't. And so before I could even drink, I would go into the restroom because I'm eating cucumbers and celery and grapes and things like that. So I've done a good job of cutting out that meat, but my carb intake has increased obviously. And what I'm eating for carbs, I'll eat like a sweet potato. Sometimes I've taken a baked potato from my job, to work with me. I've had like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And, I realize I cannot eat the bread, but I do eat the bread. I have been eating sandwiches. I like a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Sometimes I eat peanut butter with apples too, apples, or sometimes I dip it in my celery. But so I have been eating that. So I've been eating, more than as far as bulk, but my calorie content is still around, 1550. So I'm still, getting that in. Peanut butter has that fat, and it also is not low in calories either. So, so I'm eating that, and Then I'm drinking my protein shakes. And actually, I ran out of protein bars. So I cannot eat protein bars. I totally ran out. So, and I said I wasn't going to buy anything. My first intent was to give up protein bars for Lent because I found myself eating more than one a day. Like sometimes I would even eat two. And I thought this is going beyond what I'm supposed to do. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to, have the protein bars for Lent. Well, when I got those test results back from the doctor and I decided to cut out the saturated and trans fat, that's what made, solidified my decision to give up the meat. And I'm happy with it. I do feel lighter. My clothes are feeling good. I'm wearing things that were super tight, and now I can fit into it and almost need to probably give it away. So it's working. And, one of the things I did was I took measurements when I first started. I was diligent about keeping records. So eventually I'll make a video where I do an after. I haven't really done an after. And I also need to have my daughter take some more pictures of me, like full body, because I haven't done that either. I haven't taken a lot of them. I've taken a little bit. That video I made, my daughter and I think it's the cutest little video. That video, that's the last time I took a picture. And I want to say that video, we did that like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe three weeks ago. So I need to go back and take some before body shots. Before I never took body shots. I just never wanted to, never, thought I would. And so, but now I'm taking them to kind of document. So my daughter is my photographer and she's always ready to go. I just hit my light. I see 2.0 mommy in here. 2.0 mommy. We have to talk about this lighting because, I had purchased this little light and it's just in the shadow. I don't know what I'm doing with this little ring light. Kim J's Healthy Sweet Life, she told me to get the bigger ring light. I think that was her that told me to get the bigger one. But then 2.0 mommy, some months ago told me about this light and she sent me the information about the light and I have the light. And this is what's making this room so bright. Like my house is just like darker for some reason. I don't know what it is. Like I have a ceiling fan light. That light is dull. But I need to maybe get a brighter light. That's probably what I need to do. But I have this little light, and when I touch it to the side, this one, and when I do that, it takes away my light. So I got to get that together. I don't know. This lighting situation, it just throws me right on off. So that's the situation. Well, today I had planned to do this. I don't think I'm going to have time, but those protein bites, I think they're called brownie bites. I think Kim talked about it. Traces of Twan talked about it. I've even been talking to Twan on the phone and she was going to Five Below to get these little brownie bites. And Bev sent me that care package and it had those brownie bites in there. And one of them was carrot cake. The other one was a brownie, like a chocolate. And I'm not a big chocolate fan. And I want to say the other one was maybe a coffee. I can't remember what the flavor was. Whatever it was, it was a birthday confetti. I did not like that, and I did not like the carrot cake. But the chocolate one was super good. And I thought I can't buy these in my house because I'll eat them. They're so good. So I did say I was going to pick some of those up this weekend just to get that little extra bit of protein in because I feel like, what I'm eating is not really fulfilling me as much as the meat was, to be honest. Like I guess you have to eat more bulk in it, and so I'm kind of just experimenting with this. I'm experimenting with this because trying to get 1,500 calories, it sounds like a lot. But it is even more so if you're cutting out that meat. So my goal is to get rid of the trans and saturated fat. And so I thought maybe I should add eggs in there. Eggs is technically not a meat for all the, the technical people out there. But I don't want to eat dairy either. So I haven't eaten cheese. I haven't eaten eggs. I don't know if you guys remember, I think 2 weeks ago, I told you about those eggs I purchased and it was a half a dozen, 6 eggs. 6 eggs was $3.64. I remember the price because I thought this is a lot, but my daughter loves eggs. Do you know I let those eggs expire? I didn't even cook the eggs. So I was just looking, the expiration date was March 17th. And I know some of you that are fancy and, footloose and fancy free would have cooked those eggs anyway. I did not want to. I thought there's no way I'm cooking these expired eggs. So I threw the eggs out. So and I said, geez, Louise, I can't do that again. Because I realized some people, are just making it. And here I am throwing some eggs out. And I put them in a place in my refrigerator where I really didn't see them. And normally on the weekends, my daughter will ask for eggs, like she requests them. She didn't. And so that's kind of what threw me off because I wasn't eating them. But I do have a whole new dozen. So I thought maybe I'll boil some eggs and eat an egg a day. I realize eggs have cholesterol, or maybe I'll buy some egg whites, take those yolks out and make an egg scramble that way. So I'm going to do something to up my protein a little bit more. But that is my week. That is my week. So we will see. I don't know if you caught on the screen. We will see if I gained or if I lost weight. I think not drinking enough water is where I went wrong this week, for sure. And let me tell you, not only did I not drink water, that it had me constipated. This is the first time on this eating plan, now not in my history of taking Mounjaro, because that's the one side effect that has stayed consistent. I have had constipation. But since I started this new eating plan, I believe it was March 5th that Lent started, if I'm not mistaken. And so when I started that, I really haven't had to take anything. Like I'm going that day, sometimes twice a day. Now this week it slowed down a little bit. I noticed I was going once a day, maybe twice a day, depending on what I ate, but I wasn't drinking as much. And the reason why I wasn't drinking as much is because I'm eating so many foods with the high water content. I'm constantly going to the bathroom. Like I'm almost sick of it. I'm sick of I don't want to see the bathroom. I feel like the bathroom is like stuck to me like Velcro. I'm going to call it Velcro because we're a team, right? And I'm going every 5 minutes, I feel like. So I thought I got to stop drinking so much water and scale the water back. And that was where I went wrong, right? Because I had constipation and it just really hit me hard yesterday. And so I had to take some Colace because I had to go, but I just couldn't go to kind of get things moving. And I haven't had to do that since March 5th when I started, gave up the meat for Lent. So I don't know. Do you guys know in the chat? You guys are so clever in the chat, or could maybe look it up. Do you guys know how many more days do I have before Lent is over? And I guess it's going well because I would know that, right? I would know that if it wasn't going so well, how many more days I have on Lent. So I'm going to reveal my weight. If somebody can look that up, if you have time. If not, no worries. I mean, because I don't want to be like, oh, I only got 10 more days. I know it's not 10 more days. But if I'm just, my brain is scanning, I want to say maybe I have 20 more days left. But I'm not in a rush to get back to the meat, believe it or not. I'm not in a rush to do that. I just, I just want to know. So I am still hanging in there, though. I am still hanging in there. And I say those quick prayers. And when I tell you prayer works, it comes in handy for me. It like refocuses me like no other. So let's see my weight. I kind of put it on the screen. When you upload something, I had it done before. And when I exited out of here, it must have just took it off. It takes it out of StreamYard. So here is my weight today. Well, let me see. I'm not going to have you guys predict because I think it came on the screen and some people already saw it. So here it is. Last week I was 243.8. This week I am 243.6. So that puts me at 0.2 pounds lost. Jeez Louise. And I'm at 62.8 total pounds lost. And we could round that up to 63. And I've been weighing myself. And let me just say, my non-scale victory is I've lost over 20% of my body weight. I am so proud of that. It sounds like a lot, right? Now, a lot of people, if you probably lost over 100 pounds, you're in the 30% probably of your weight, depending on how much you weigh. But, I'm sure a lot of you have lost. If you calculate the percentage of your body fat or your body weight, how much you've lost, I'm sure a lot of you are at least at 20%, 15, somewhere between 15 and 30% that you've lost, based on me hearing the numbers from week to week that people are telling me. So calculate that because that's going to make you feel good when that scale doesn't. So you know what? I am so happy. I'm so happy I lost 0.2. I thought I was going to gain because I knew I wasn't drinking as much water. So I knew, I just knew, I thought I had gained or was going to hold on to it. So I've been getting on the scale a little bit more, only because with this new plan, I just kind of wanted to see the difference between that, eating with the meat and not having the meat, not having, the meat. Now I am eating tuna and seafood. Like I haven't really eaten, I've only eaten tuna and salmon, but I could also eat shrimp. That's the only other seafood that I would even eat that I like. And so, and I'm staying away from that shrimp because because of the cholesterol, but also I only like fried shrimp. Like I'm not one of those shrimp cocktail people. If you give me some shrimp, it has to be sauteed, and I only like that a little bit. It has to be in something. Like if I eat sushi, I'm not a fan of it, but I have to have cooked things in my sushi. And so, shrimp is what I like, and the fried shrimp is what I like. So I'm trying to stay away from the oils, the extra oils, the fried stuff. And so I haven't been eating shrimp either, but I have some coconut shrimp. And when I open my my freezer door to look in there for stuff, I see that coconut shrimp, and it's saying, eat me, eat me. And I'm saying, no, no. Now I realize if I don't have anything else like that I could cook, I could always throw 5 or 6 pieces of that in there. And it's really not a lot of calories, not a lot of fat, but it does have it's, obviously pre-fried, pre-cooked in that oil. So it's fried, and then of course I'd be putting it in the oven. So I have that situation going on too with the with the meat. So I've been getting on that scale every day, and the scale is scary. Doing this just confirmed for me why I don't do it every day. So that's what I said. Some people are soldiers in here. I know you're weighing in every day, and it does. I do agree. It does help you know where to go from day to day, week to week, and all of that. You see the trends, you see the patterns, you know what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. And so, it is helpful for that, but I just can't take it every day. I'd probably be over here not eating. It would drive me to not eat to see that scale go up and down and up and down on a daily basis. So that's how I know. At one point I was down, a little bit more than I am now. And so that's how I know once I got to that midweek and start holding on to that water, I just couldn't do it. Another thing is I'm not good at documenting myself getting on the scale. I use that Renfo app, and some days I forget to use the app. So I've been jotting down the weight, on in my phone, on my notes, just jotting it down, because some days I forget to, get on that Renfo scale to do that. So that is my weight. That is my weight. So I got to pick up the pace. It just gives me a flashback to to Coach Romiko when I said, do you think I could lose? I asked him, I don't know if I did this on camera or cut this part of the interview out, but I said, because we talked before and after, and I said, do you think I could lose, I think at that time, maybe I have 38 pounds or 37 pounds. You think I could lose that before July, in mid-July? And he said, well, if you work really hard. So I feel like I have to have a big loss at some point here to kind of get on that path. So we will see. But like I said, if I don't lose it, I'm just going to give myself grace. I'm okay with that too. I just do it, when I'll do it when I do it. But that's my first goal. So in the chat, you guys, let me know if you calculated the percentage of your body fat. I want to know what yours is, because I think that's a great non-scale victory to keep track of. So we said hello. So now I'm in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. We said hello to Lakeisha. We said hello to Z. We said hello to Kim J. Sweet Healthy Life. We have Brown Velvet. So Kim says, Dee Dee, your lip gloss is popping. Yeah, and I kind of wiped it off, Kim, because it looks like too much. I am not a makeup girl at all. That one lady, I think her name is called Mommy Moments of Makeup. I can't remember what her name is called. She was on the Self-Love Live. I just am so impressed by women who could put that makeup on. And some people, like my mom, could do it in their sleep. Like she wore makeup too. I just cannot. I'm not good with it. I'm like what you would consider plain Jane. So, but thank you. So everybody's saying hello. Then we have Mail to the B. Hey, DD and friends. 2.0 mommy. She's saying hello to everybody just popping in. Hi, 2.0 mommy. We have Traces of Twan. Hello and happy Sunday, Dee Dee. Happy Sunday to you. Nadia, hello. Hope everything is doing well. Happy and blessed Sunday. And I love the profile pics when you change them. I just think that's so awesome. When you change the pics and I see a new pic pop up there. Kim says, I can't hold it either like I used to. Yes, the closer I get to the bathroom, the harder it is to hold it. Gotta go right now. Yes, I do remember that commercial with the traffic control lady. And that's how I feel. I'm like, geez, Louise. And as you get older, it just is going to be even harder. Unfortunately, who would have thought we would be there or close to it? Yes, 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 yes. And I don't know what you're talking about on that one. And people are saying hello to Jill, Simply Taisha, hey DD and Divalicious fam. You have to kiss that grandbaby for me. I love that. People are saying hello. You might have better luck facing the window. I have the light in front of my window. You know what? Everybody told me, and I have to give Kofia a shout out because she even had a personal look. She's like, I'm gonna call you, DD. We're gonna get this lighting together. You are right. It's better toward the light, but I just don't like the view that way. I don't like the view that way. I do have a little bit of light in my office. Overall, my home just doesn't have a lot of great spaces for light, but I'm going to figure it out. I figure in the summertime, I have all summer to figure it out. And then when the winter comes, it's going to be so much light in here. You guys are going to be like, wow. I want to figure it out. But yeah, and I guess for me, I just see everybody else's light. I'm like, how do I get that? Except for Simply Taisha. She doesn't need light. She has this vibe going on in the back of her her videos that's like that, it's dark, but it's not dark. I don't know what that's about, but I love it. So I love that vibe. So maybe I'm kind of having that vibe, even though I'm not trying to have that vibe. It's just based on the light. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that light, though. The one good light I have is the recommendation you gave me. She says, exactly, the window would light you beautifully. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn that. But facing that way, it's like not a good sight. I got all my school supplies over there. You can really tell I'm a teacher probably with the books. You guys see the books, the bookshelf. But you see the books in the back. But this is like an angle where it's like all my supplies. It's like a lot of stuff. So I try to stay over here. Even though it's neat and organized, I feel like it looks like a elementary school teacher, which I am, but I'm not trying to convey that on here right now. So yeah, thank you though. All right, what are you guys saying? People are saying hello, hello, hello. Yes, hydration has been key for me. Yes, and we know that. Yeah, I know that. It's just that I had a hard time getting it in. And I'm having a hot flash right now. Maybe a drink of water will help me out here. April 17th is the last day for Lent. Yes, but how many days is that? How many days is that? Is that exactly what's today? Today is the 23rd. That's probably about 25 days I have left. I don't know. A loss is a loss. Congrats. Yes, I consider as long as I didn't gain, I'm pretty happy. But I do have to stay on a pace. So, my plan is thank you, Twan. She's also saying a loss is a lot. That's a loss. My game plan for the summer is to get a personal trainer. And I don't know who that's going to be. I haven't decided. I do have a student. It's so funny because I had a student that I had in third grade. She's a personal trainer. And I mean, oh, does she look great? She looks great. And I said I was going to see if she would train me. I have a couple of guy friends that stay in this one gym but it's expensive. It's going to cost me like $125 a month because my daughter would go, have to go, for the daycare or whatever care services. So, I just think that's a lot of money. But if I only do it for 3 months, I'm going to see if they have like a summer plan where, I could just go for the summer. But I just say I go to Planet Fitness, right, for $20 a month. And that's within my retirement budget and work out there. So that's what I want to do. I might hire a little personal trainer coach, even if I had somebody digitally to help me out and just, I kind of need like that check-in, somebody to showing me what to do. And then we begin 2 for the price of 1 because I share all this with Kim. My accountability partner. And so, yeah, so I just kind of want to have like more focus over the summer. So that's my plan. And then I want to be able to read some books this summer. So you guys will probably be on that book reading journey with me too. I kind of put that by the wayside because I've been very busy, with just everything in YouTube. So I see Mary is in here. Hey, Mary, how are you? How are you? Simply Taisha, you lost 31% of your body weight, and I can tell you look fabulous, fabulous. Mindy, hey, hey, hey. You know, Mindy, when you say that, I don't know if you ever know the show, What's Happening, but it reminds me of What's Happening. If you don't know that show, I'm going to have to send it to you. I love it. I love it. Let's see. She says, yes, Jill. Okay. She's sending, people are, she's talking back and forth with Jill. 34%. Jeez Louise. Mindy, you are officially an athlete. You know that? You're just an athlete. Like, I don't expect anything less. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. I said 30%. She didn't went over that threshold. I love it. 34%. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about that for you. That is awesome. 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 Very good. Very good. All right. All right. People are saying thank you to her. Mindy says she's riding her bike. She says, when we saw the traffic control lady about needing to go in that commercial back in the day, who would have thought we would be there? Well, we're here now. Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? I always say that too. I still can't believe I'm 50. You know, when I turned 50, I couldn't believe it. And I don't know where I was somewhere yesterday, maybe it was a couple days ago, and some kind of way my age came up, and the guy, he could not believe I was 52. He couldn't believe I was in my 50s. So I was like, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. I thought that made me feel good. Male says 40. I don't know why she's saying 40. Total 40. Total 40 pounds lost. Is that what you're saying? Okay, Brown Velvet said, I'm 15% so far. That is awesome. 15%. I love it. I love it. Doesn't that make you feel good? Because that percentage is, I feel like the percentage is not easy. You know, look at it in the percentages is not, it really shows you how far you've come. And they always used to say, if you lose 5% of your body fat, that's a great start. 10% is what they would tell you to lose before. So you're over that threshold to kind of get you started. So you're on your way. I love that. I really love that. Sounds like you're going to have to rearrange your room to get the angle you want. I know. I need to rearrange like the whole room. I really do. Because when I retire, I don't want to have like any of this stuff. I'm going to be giving it away. But my bookshelves, I don't know where else I would put them. It's the stuff over there that's the teacher stuff. You know, when my dad passed, I had this one parent, and I actually need to check on her because her son was in the hospital. But I had this one parent who, there was this one parent who, she had the kids put this book together, and it's like a souvenir type of book, and it's huge. I mean, they have all kind of pictures, they have cards, they have poems, they have pictures, they have letters, and she put it together, and it's huge. I mean, it's like, I have a living will, not a will. I have a trust and a will, but I guess the trust trumps the will. But all those things, my financial stuff, like this book is bigger than that. It's huge. And so I have a lot of like keepsake things like that. So I need to find like a special place for them. I don't want to put them just in my basement because, put them in my garage or storage because I won't even go back to it. It's things in my storage now, in my garage. Everything is so neat and orderly, but I have no clue what's in those containers at all. So I said, that's a job also for the summer. I'm going to do it before the summer because I'm scared of spiders. So it might be some spiders popping out, and I'm gonna make sure I have somebody over here that's not afraid of a spider, because I just run back in the house and wouldn't do it. But I need to clean that stuff out. I need to clean out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start now. Something might come up. They're trying to dismantle the Department of Education. I know you guys have heard about that. If you haven't, they are, and all that stuff trickles down. And so hopefully it doesn't deter me from my 2-year plan, which is to retire. And, I'm hoping it doesn't, but I'm going to get ready like I'm retired. I'm getting ready for it. So I'm going to be getting rid of stuff. So if anybody, there's so many people I know who are, want to be teachers or in school to be a teacher. So I have a ton of people I can share things with, but I just kind of need to get that going. Lynn T, hello, Lynn. How are you? How are you? Look at that profile pic. I love that haircut. You're looking cute. Looking cute. I love to see the profile pics. I love a good pixie cut. I often said I was gonna do that. Back in the day, I used to have like long hair swooped over to the side, and I had my hair shaved off on the side. But I didn't do a whole lot of creative stuff with my hair. I'm always like pretty much the same. The same style. And I remember in high school, I won, I was saluted. I was, not that, I was, what do you call that? Like for our yearbook, I was runner up, the second place for best hair. And, I've been going to the hair salon since I was a kid. Like my parents paid for it and sent me to the hair salon. So I always had straight hair. So it's, like straight hair or hair that was in a bob, just whatever the style was, I had it going on. And that one style, I got it. And I remember I needed a perm to get this style. And my dad said, if you get a perm, I'm not paying for your hair anymore. So I wanted this style. So I don't know how I talked the hairdresser into getting me this hairstyle. But she shaved off the hair. And actually, it's my prom picture. She shaved it off. Oh, my dad was livid. He stopped getting my hair done after that. When he said it, he meant it. But I was able to keep it up by then. I had a job since I was like 14, working at the summer camps. And then when I was 15, I officially got a job. They let me on with my parents' consent. And, so I've always, kept a job and worked. And so I could do my own hair, right? So I was okay with it. But my dad said, no, ma'am. You are not doing your hair super fancy. So I've always just been into, the hair. And so here recently, one of my friends had called me, and one of a student I had in third grade, it was cutting his hair. And so he was like, you got somebody that wants to talk to you. So I'm talking to the boy, and, a lot of these boys have ran me off Facebook because they would come, say, oh, let's go out to dinner. Let's have lunch. And I do it with some of the girls, but I'm scared to do it with the boys because, things, I don't want people saying, yeah, I saw her. She was having lunch with her former student and putting 10 on 20. So I try to stay away from the boys, even though they run up in my DMs, I'm telling you. And so this boy got on there and he was saying how he's like, yeah, my teacher had a silk press before it was even called a silk press because I was just known to have a good silk press. And then they weren't calling it there back then. I don't know what they were calling it back then, but yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so I don't know why I even got off on that tangent, but wait. We got somebody else who, Keisha, you lost 30% of your body weight. I mean, geez, Louise. That is awesome. You guys are doing it. I say we can learn so much from each other. I know I'm on here making videos, but when you guys, give your updates and talk about some of your strategies and things you're doing, I just love it. I love it because it gives me ideas. And it motivates me because you're at 20%, 30%, and I'm at 20. So you're motivating me to want to get to that 30%. You, Simply Taisha, I just love that. Mindy, hey, it is what's happening. Mindy, you used to watch that. I love it. I miss the old school day shows from back in the day. I really do. I think of Fat Albert when you say, hey, yes. I used to love that too, Fat Albert. Kim, 20 to 4 to 25% of your body weight. Kim, that is awesome. Oh my goodness. I love that. And I love that about you. I love that you got that diagnosis and you were on it. You mean business. I appreciate that. I love that. The downsize says, yeah, rerun. I feel like I need to do like a little, I don't know the dance rerun, but I used to love rerun. Oh my, Raj, yes, I used to love them. Dee, the little sister that had the mouth on her, reminds me of some kids in my class. I love it. You were speaking of Lent. Okay, I don't have 40 more days to go. No, it's total 40 days, right? But I'm saying I got to find out how many more days that I have, left on Lent. But like I say, this is not hard. So, like to cut out the meat hasn't been hard for me because I told you guys I'm a carb girl. When I started this Mounjaro journey, I really kicked up the protein for me anyway, because I was probably already not eating what I should have eaten, but I kicked up the protein because I'm not a protein girl. Like I'm one of those people that could eat everything but the meat. So to eat the protein, and that's probably why I gravitated to the protein bars, because I like that better than the meat. But I haven't had a protein bar. I haven't had one since Lent. So even though I didn't intentionally give that up, that's also, I just haven't purchased any more. Oh, yeah, she's laughing at the downsize. 23% of body fat, male to the B. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys are awesome. That is awesome. I agree, Mel. She says, wow, you guys have done incredibly. You really, really have. I mean, that is awesome. That is awesome. All right, people are saying, hello. Dee Dee, I just noticed you have a different profile pic. I do. I love it. And also, congratulations on 1K. Yay! Yes, yes, yes. Oh, my goodness. This is so funny, Taisha. I already told you this story, but I have to tell everybody else. This last night, I think I was talking to Kim, and she was saying, oh, you're at 998. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to make a big deal about it because, you go up, you go down. Once I get that, 1,000, it probably would go down. So, I've always said that. So I had, before we went to bed last night, it was 999, and I showed my daughter. And so my daughter said, my daughter said, okay, you got to get to one. This has been a good math lesson for her, because every time she sees that number, she calculates how many more to 1,000. And so that's been something that she took up on her own and she's been doing. So she's like, you got one more to go. So this morning she comes in and she's all excited because she's like, it's going to be a girl's day because we're going to the movies today after her gymnastics. And so she's like, let's see how many subscribers. So she looked on there and she said, one. And she was like so upset. She's like, Mom, what happened? So I thought, I'm going to go with this. I said, I don't know what happened. I said, I don't know what happened. I said, what happened to all those 999 people? She said, I don't know, but she's like, I don't know where they went, but they must not know a good video when they see it. And she said, Mom, we got to call Miss Kim J. We got to call Miss Taisha. We got to call Miss Tuan. It was so cute. I wish I had videoed that moment. It just had me in stitches and stitches. And she said, we got to call them up right now. At this time, it was like 8 o'clock, it was almost 9. So I texted everybody and said, are you up yet? Because I realized, I thought Twan would be up, and even Twan wasn't up yet. But I thought, I'm going to text people because I don't like to call people's houses if I don't know their schedule and I don't know that they're up. So I had her text, she knows how to text. So she texted them and told them the stories. So that was so funny. So thank you all. I just wanted to say thank you for being so supportive. I mean, I cannot believe it. 1,000 subscribers. I really didn't think I was going to even get here. You kind of see it and with other people, but you just never see some things for yourself. And so, and you have I don't guess you don't have you could do it after a year, but really, my goal was to do it in a year's time. So I'm not at 9 months yet. So I think that is awesome. That is so awesome. And, I saw this statistic that said, and, maybe I shouldn't say, because I don't want this to be not an encouragement for people who are starting channels that are new. But, they say only 8 or 9% of people make it to 1,000 subscribers. So that's a small amount. When you think about that, that is such a small amount. It reminds me of how they say that only 15% of people make it to keep the weight off when they lose on a GLP-1. And I'm one of those people, I like to defy the odds, right? And so I still think I could be one of those people in the 15%. Now, maybe I won't be. I don't know. Maybe by then it'll change. Maybe they'll have more data that comes out. It'll probably be a while before I get to my ultimate goal, because after 100 pounds lost, I'm not done yet. But I just thought, gosh, and you hate to say that statistic out loud because it makes you feel like you can't do it. And when I was watching the videos talking about this, because on YouTube, some creators talk about, these big creators, and they don't talk about it to not motivate you. They talk about it to give you that that urge to be consistent, right? And so one thing about me, I will say, is a plus is that, you know, when I'm locked in, I'm locked in. And so I've been locked in on YouTube. So, you know, we all know, you know, anything you put effort into, it pays off. But honestly, it really is you guys, you know. I mean, I'm gonna use this example because I started going live on what day was that? Wednesday. I picked a Wednesday. I don't know why I picked a Wednesday, but when I picked a Wednesday, I'm like, why did I pick a Wednesday? I picked a Wednesday because I thought in the summertime, people are going to be so busy on Thursdays and Fridays. They're not going to be watching lives. But, you know, I think some people are probably like me. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot this summer, probably entertainment wise. Well, I don't really have that planned to be doing a whole lot of social stuff. But, you know, things change. I always say a lady has a right to change her mind. So who knows what may come up. But I picked a Wednesday, and then Sundays just happened today because I was trying to get to that 50 pounds. And I said, I got to pick up this pace, and I'm not going to titrate up. I'm just going to change what I'm doing and, you know, let those lifestyle habits, really live by those lifestyle habits. And that's what I have done. And so since I really like buckled down on that weight loss, you know, like some of the principles I go by, not eating past 7:30, 7 o'clock if I can help it, you know, not eating carbs at dinner time, sticking to my, you know, 1590. It was 1590 for a while. It dropped down here to 1550. So when I, you know, when I put all those things in place, trying to get that my carbs to be not more than 100 carbs a day. And so when I really like focused in on that, that's when the weight started to come off like consistently every week. So I was trying to make it to that 50. And I cannot even believe I made it 1 week after Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving, especially in, you know, my family, and I know in the African American culture, you know, that soul food that you cook on Thanksgiving is everything. And so, and we eat. I know I do, speaking for me. And so I cooked and I still ate. And that's the reason why I didn't really travel. You know, I didn't go visit family. My dad went to visit family. I didn't really go. I wanted to stay home and just kind of control what I was eating. And so, you know, I ate the one day, but I give myself a lot of credit because even on Thanksgiving, I was able to push through. So that is what spurred the Sundays. Now, the Fridays, well, I decided I said out loud I was going to start dating. And so that kind of sparked like, okay, well, let me do something on a Friday. Friday, I consider a date night. Friday nights and Saturday nights was always my date night when I was dating. And so I thought, let me do that on Friday. And you guys have been the reason why I kept it going. You know, there's so many times I'm like, this is going to be the last Friday. This is going to be the last Friday. And, you know, I enjoy it. We've had I just have laughed and learned and so much. And I told people, you know, when I get that man, my man, I'm going to have him come to that chat. I'm going to show him some of those videos of some of these people that are in these chats. Just, you know, just dropping some gems. Like they got to meet Lorraine and Chris that are a happily married couple. And even if, you know, everything's not, you know, totally happy, you're doing it. You're together. You're making it. And, you know, that is great to see. I always tell, you know, people on here that are showing their spouses that I love to see that. I love to see spouses on this weight loss journey together, or if they're not on it together, that they're being supportive. I really think that is a plus for you, because it's not lost on me that so many people here, you know, and just watching don't really have support like that. So it's nice to see. So thank you guys so much. You know, I will say, the last video I did, I just put it out last night, I think it was about perimenopause. And I don't know how that video is going to do. You know, they tell you to make videos for the audience, don't make videos for yourself. And I've heard so many people talk about menopause and talk about perimenopause and all the symptoms that go on with it. And Lord knows I've experienced it. And last year, it was just a doozy for me, what I was going through. And I don't think I recorded that video. I added on to it. But I recorded that video 3 different times. I deleted 2 of the previous videos because you could tell that I recorded that months ago, because my face and my body was just looking it looked 20 pounds heavier because I was 20 pounds heavier. And so I said, I'm just going to record this video. The last one I recorded, part of it, the first part of it, I might have been 10 pounds, maybe 15 pounds heavier on there. And I said, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to put it out. And I added, some information to it because that has just been such a struggle for me. The perimenopause, going into that transition, it's tough. It's tough. And, a lot of women don't talk about it. So if you are a woman and you're in your 40s and 50s, watch that video. It has a lot of great information in it. It has treatment, options for you. So a lady, sent me a comment and said that she's just started the HRT, and I think that is great. Whatever works for you. I'm really not on any kind of medication. Honestly, the only thing I take is Mounjaro. That is it. I don't take anything else. I consider that a blessing from God that I don't feel the need to take anything and haven't had to. But I'm still open to it because sometimes I get irritated. And I'm like, why am I irritated? I'm just irritated for no reason. And now I know a lot of some of these things I'm going through is, once I start to do my research, is because of the perimenopause, menopause. So that, I say that to say, that is kind of my mission on here, is to educate women about our bodies. And I'm learning too. So on this Wednesday, we're going to be talking about, another health and wellness topic that women can relate to. And the place that this has for men, I think, is for men to, so they can know to be supportive of their wives and girlfriends. Because, I'm sure a lot of the guys, when we're going through this irritability, the mood swings, the brain fog, I'm sure a lot of that is hard for a guy to keep up with, to deal with, to go back and forth with you, when you're up one minute and you're down the next, and it's all because of your hormones. So I think men have a place in this also. And so if we can educate them so they can be, more helpful to us, it just makes for a great household, doesn't it? So thank you for mentioning that, Taisha. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to see the downsides. Oh my goodness, 36%. Now, okay, so I think Mel asked that. So the downsides, I don't know if they're still in here, but is it 30% of you guys together, 36% together, or is it just you or Chris? Maybe you said that it's Lorraine or Chris. I don't. Maybe they said that down the road. My weight loss twin, Miss Sandra. Yes. She said, missed the question, but same as you. It's how much of your body fat percentage have you lost? And we call ourselves twins because our numbers are so close as far as being on this weight loss journey. So I love that. Okay, so it's Chris, 36% of your body weight. That is an accomplishment. A lot of times, I'm in your lives too. That's I'm in there. And a lot of times we don't focus on that body fat percentage, but I think you guys need to start throwing that out. I think that is a great accomplishment. Let people have something else they can, hold on to. The doctors, they're looking at that. We might not be looking at that so much, but the doctors are. When people are looking at statistics of your weight and all these facts and statistics that we hear about, people are looking at that percentage of your body fat. And so I think that's also going to be a game changer when this whole BMI situation changes. It could go to just that. I don't know. So we will see, but that is awesome. Awesome. Oh, you're almost at 40%. Can you imagine people who lose 50% of their body weight? I mean, geez, 40%. I even think 20% is a huge, but when you're getting close to that 40 and 50, that is awesome. Now I think you're going to be in maintenance, so you might not lose anymore, but you don't need to. You look fabulous. You look great. Yeah, she said that must be CD. Hello, everyone. I have lost 23% of my body weight. Tracy Davis, that is awesome. 23%. Do you know how huge that is? I'm sure a lot of our doctors and our healthcare professionals are super excited, right? They're super excited. These numbers are just out of this world. I love it. And thank you for joining us and commenting. Congrats, Dee Dee. Thank you. Brown Velvet, you said 3. I don't know. Are you saying you lost 3 pounds this week? I'm not sure. Okay, Brown Velvet, she has the days. 25 days till April 17th, the end of Lent. Okay, 25 more days. I could do a lot of things. At 25, you only have 25 days. I don't like that word only, especially on the GLP-1 journey, but I'll take it for this. I'll take it for the Lent. 2.0 mommy. So happy for you, Dee Dee. You truly deserve it. So happy for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just cannot go. I've called these people or texted them, but I just want to say, thank you to all these content creators. And not only the subscribers, but the content creators are so awesome. 2.0 mommy. I mean, she just texts me. She'll text me out of the blue with just something inspirational. Just keep going. It's so sweet, so sweet. Even when she's going through her struggles, she's just always like sending a kind word. So I love that. Traces of Twan's live, same thing. She's been, one of my early on, supporters when she found out about my channel. And, we've been hanging in there ever since. So I appreciate you. And, we've already talked. Simply Taisha. Oh my goodness. I already claimed that I'm her granddaughter's aunt, Auntie Dee Dee. So, that is my home girl. We connected on all things love of technology, right? All things love of technology. And I can't keep up with her though, because I'm working and she's retired. She's where she's goals for me. I'm trying to get to that retired life. And so I love that. So supportive, so sweet. Just very encouraging. I just love that. I love that. And Kim J. Sweet Healthy Life, she is my accountability partner. Who would have thought you would have had accountability partner long distance? People are so intrigued about what we're doing, and it's just not. It's very simplistic, but I do love it. When we decided we were no longer going to be, didn't have time for this week, we really missed each other. We missed that workout. We missed that person that you're checking in with. So I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And, I just want to say also, the Downsize, they have been so supportive. I call them the Batman and Robin team. That's probably not the best thing because, it's Batman and Robin, but they're like, this is really my term for you guys. So you need to coin this. I don't know. It's probably already coined, but you are the dynamic duo. That's what I call you. I think that you guys are great. I just love it. I love everything about your channel. I think you guys are cool. And yeah, I just look forward to, watching you. I love the banter back and forth. I wish my daughter was old enough so she could, talk to me sometimes, because sometimes, when you're on here, it is nice to have like a little, partner to go back and forth with. So I love that you guys have that built in. So you guys keep that going. I love that. And I don't know, did I leave somebody out? So many people have been so supportive. Everybody who did the interviews, she is Tamika, Patrice, Denise. If I name everybody, I'll forget somebody and then I'll be in big trouble. So I won't say all the names, but if I left somebody out, all the content creators, Debbie and what's her Debbie's Weight Loss Revolution. That lady lost 207 pounds. Like, geez, Louise, like I don't know if she's on here, but goodness, can you imagine her percentage of body fat that she's lost, or body weight, I should say, that she's lost? It's just probably awesome. So I love that. Who else? And did I think of? Oh, so who I'm really enjoying? I miss Sweet Tea, the Turtle Diaries. I miss her. I used to, and watch her videos, and you can always go back and catch up. But she kept me informed about those compounds, and I love Perfectly Pamela. I think she's also keeping me informed about those compounds. That's Lorena. I mean, I could just name so many people. Let me stop now before I get myself in trouble. For not saying people. I don't want to do that. All the content creators, here have just been really, really good, and just nice, and supportive. And I try to have a message about being positive, but I really am like that. I really do want to be positive. And so I want us to keep that community vibe going, like the sense of community. It's always great to have a nice community. I don't care what field you're in. I don't care what you're doing. Having a community of supporters, like your own village, they used to call it, is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So Dee Dee, give your meat. I'm a meat lover. Carbs second, then veggies. But the veggies and carbs had to switch places since this journey. Yes, and I can see that. You had to make that, eat that protein first. That's pretty good. When I saw a rerun, I knew it was CD. That is too funny. I so love little Diva, aka our accountability coach. Yes, and the days that we're not on, she knows the time is 7:30 that we work out. And if it's 7:30, she is on it. She is like, where is Miss Kim J? You did not call her. She did not call you. Where are you at? So she is on it. I love that. Geez, one of one. Hello, hello. I love that. One of one. Hello, hello. Now, are you on the GLP-1? Are you on a weight loss journey? We want to know. Look at that profile pic. You are looking handsome. I love that. I love that shirt. Okay, Taisha. Okay, what did you say? The video was great, Dee, relatable to many. Women and men can learn from it. Yes, you're talking about the perimenopause, menopause. Yes. So, I always say, I always have the young guys hitting on me. I'm going to say, hey, you got to watch this video first. So you can know what I'm going through, right? So, but I'm sure they have moms and all that, but it's not the same because I don't know that a lot of mothers talk about with their daughters or their sons about perimenopause and menopause. I don't know that people, they may say things, make jokes, talk about the hot flashes. You associated with the hot flashes and maybe not being able to sleep, but it's a lot of other stuff that goes along with the perimenopause. So like I say, if you're a guy out there, you got to support your woman, you got to support her. Good afternoon, King Darium. Mary says, I am postmenopausal and eventually had to go on hormones due to pelvic and vaginal atrophy. Oh my gosh. I hear about that vaginal atrophy and I don't know much about that. I was in a lot of pain, but didn't understand until I got the right help. Yes. Oh, Mary, I like your profile pic. I like it. I love those glasses. You got a new pic too. You guys with these new pics, I love it. I got a new pic now, but you can't see it on here. But you guys, you guys are teaching me a lot because, like I say, the only medication I take is Mounjaro. I'm not a big fan of going on anything, but if I was in pain, I would. I think I'm changing my mind. Like as I'm growing, I'm changing my mind. So, geez, one of one says, I'm down 36 pounds in 11 weeks on 7.5. So, are you on Zep? You might have said it, but I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Are you on which GLP-1 are you taking? For some reason, I want to say a Zepbound, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's Darian. Hello, hello. Traces of Twan, 26% for me. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. 26%. You're almost at that 32. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. I hope you guys saying this out loud made you guys so proud. Before we, because I gotta take my daughter to gymnastics. So before I get off this call, I want to ask you guys, I'm trying to make some Brussels sprouts. And the Brussels sprouts are something I don't cook. And when I've cooked them before, I kind of boil them and season them really well. But somebody told me you can make some crispy kind of Brussels sprouts. And I don't know who that was. Was that you, Mindy? I don't know who had a great recipe for, the Brussels sprouts. And so if that was you, please put it in the chat if it's that easy. If not, email me, downsizingdiva8@gmail.com, because I bought some Brussels sprouts from the farmer's market and it's just sitting there and I need to cook them today. And so tonight or maybe tomorrow, because tonight I'll be getting home late with my daughter, so I'm taking her to the movies. Well, we won't be late, but I don't think I'm going to feel like cooking when I get back. So yeah, so if you have if that wasn't you, if you have a great recipe, please let me know. Let me know in the chat. All right, so people are saying congratulations to G's one of one. I love the name one of one. Brown Velvet says up 2 pounds this week. I think the colonoscopy threw my body out of whack, so not stressing it. Non-skill victory, completed my first 5K. Yes, you did a check on that vision board. I love that. 5K is nothing to sneeze at. I just saw a video. Patrice Denise also ran. Well, let me take that back. The period. Patrice, period, Denise, dot, period. I love saying that. But she ran a 5K. Look at that. You guys are 5K twins. I love it. Don't you feel accomplished? I feel accomplished. I feel accomplished for you if you don't. I think that's awesome, awesome, awesome. Geez, Louise. I love that. So Let's see. Don't worry about the up 2 pounds. You know what? Because you put your body into shock, probably basically going on that colon cleanse, which if you've had a colonoscopy, we've all done that. She's one of the ones that she said we pressured her into getting that colonoscopy. So I love it. That's good pressure. That's what I call good pressure. And that is the purpose of my Wednesday lives. And when the summer gets here, I may move those back because the downsize is also on Wednesday. And I like to go in there lives too. I leave out because I have to go to my own live. But, they are growing. So their lives are getting longer and longer. So I may, when it gets closer to the summer, like scale mine back a little bit. I don't know. I'm playing around with some ideas, but I'm live 3 times a week. I don't know how long I could keep this up. But I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it. So I said, as long as you guys come, I will be there. But anybody else out there, if you have not gotten that colonoscopy, you need to go and get it. If you need support to, encourage you, email me. I will be happy to give you support. I'll text you or email you or call you on your day. Anybody who's told me they've been getting that, that's what I've been doing, and I just want to encourage you, and I want you to do it. You could be saving your life, or you could tell somebody else about your great experience that would encourage somebody who you're not even thinking you're encouraging to get a colonoscopy and save their life. Also, mammograms, get those mammograms, whatever you need to do for your health. If nothing else with this Mounjaro journey, if this ended for me tomorrow, that makes me proud. But I also want to say, preventative health is key. Preventative health is key. So you have to catch things before they develop. And that's what message I want to send out to you guys. Catch it before it develops. If you know your body, if something's not right with your body, you go and get it checked out. And, some people don't have insurance, because some people will say that's easier said than done. You have insurance. And I know that's true. But I do know that people spend their money, just like their time, on what's important. And so we got to prioritize that health. So if that means like not going to the spa to get your nails done for a week because you're using that money to get a mammogram and build up over time. I'm not saying it's the same cost, but save up for it. Set a goal. By July, I'm going to save up. I'm going to sacrifice this, that, and the other. And how much is your life worth? You got to ask yourself that too, because most people I know that find things early are, and I'm not going to say all because I don't know all, but most people that I've talked to that have caught things early were so glad they did. They were so glad they did before it got out of control. So anyway, that's my PSA. I say, take care of that health. That's really all you have. It reminds me of that. I never forget the hip hop mogul that passed away. I want to say, was Irv Gotti 54? I can't remember how old he was at this point now, because it's kicking in. I want to say he was 56. I can't remember. We did a live about it where we talked about, but so I remember him selling his masters for $300 million a few years ago. Well, guess what? He was only around a couple of years to enjoy it. And it's like, I know he probably never saw that for himself, because at some point you kind of think you're invincible, especially when you're younger. And for him, for a guy, now in this day and age, 50 is the new 30. At least we want to think so. Now, don't tell my Renfo scale that, because it's telling me this metabolic age. I'm like, what is going on with this? But, we just kind of have to encourage people to, do what they can while they can do it. And preventative care is key. So join me on Wednesdays, because we're talking about all things health and wellness. And so that's when we're going to be talking about a lot of things that affect women in their bodies. And I know a lot about it, or some topics, because I'm a woman. It's just near and dear to my heart. Taisha says, it's because of Dee Dee's perimenopause live stream that I reached out to my doctor about my symptoms, and now I'm on HRT. Dee Dee, you are a true gem in this community. We love you. Thank you. Yeah, that made me feel so good when you told me you were going to do that, and that you got tested, and it came back that you needed something to help you manage those symptoms. So that was so cool. And 50 symptoms, there are more than 50 that I listed. There are a lot more, believe it or not, but I think a lot of times, we just think when you get older, you get cranky. And so a lot of times we put those things off on other things. We don't connect it to the perimenopause or the menopause symptoms. But, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Women, we have amazing bodies. Like when you think about how the body works, it's just a wonder. It's no wonder that, people are able to accomplish such huge feats with their physical being because our bodies are amazing. Thank you for that. Darium, no metal. They were giving out beer at the end, which I don't drink. Trust my brother didn't let those beer go to waste. Oh my goodness. So you're saying your brother didn't let those go to waste. They didn't give out a medal, a certificate, or anything. We got to print you out a certificate. You got to at least have a certificate. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to the comments. G's of one of one says, I need to update that pic. I've lost 5 more pounds since then. I'm the almighty Zepbound. So you're on Zepbound. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so you're 25 pounds. You look smaller on there too. It's kind of far back, but from what I see, you look smaller. But I get it because I was saying that video I made, I was 10 pounds heavier. The one I have some other videos that I haven't even put out yet. I couldn't edit fast enough. I could record, but not edit. And I was looking at these videos. They're from October 14th. I know the exact date because I was just looking this morning. And I said, I wonder if people would be like, is that you, Dee? Because I just look heavier in the face. You could see it. So that's pretty funny. On camera, you do look a little bit bigger. And I don't know that people who have met in person have said that to each other, but you hear people say it. It really is true. It really is true. Okay, what do you guys say? Oh, she was so proud of the Patrice Denise. I was too. That was awesome. I know she felt good. She felt good. Go ahead, G's. That's amazing. Keep on taking the pics and celebrating the wins and embracing the losses. Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? That's what we're here for. So I know all the content creators are here to really support people. Like we want to support you. I started off document my journey. I still am. I want to get to that 100 pounds, and then I have more to lose after that. That I want to lose, after that. So that's my next big goal. But, we're here to support you. So come to the lives, come to the chats, comment, interact. Twan always says, come out of the bushes. I think that's the funniest thing. I think that's so funny when she says, come out of the bushes. But when people come on to comment, it's nice to have that interaction when you're live. It really is. Let's see. People are saying hello. Thank you. She says, congrats. I'm going to go down to if anybody has any comment. I want to get to the, what do you call that? What did I just say I wanted help with? The Brussels sprouts. I want to know. Please get your colonoscopies, as King Darium says. It's a simple procedure and your body will thank you. For sure, for sure. If you don't have health coverage, just check for your local resources and groups who can help fray the cost of it. I love that. I love that. If he was 54. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was 54 or 56. Still so young, so young. So young. I am, in hindsight, glad he sold those mattresses because now, his family has that money. Who knows without him? And I don't know, sometimes the value of your estate raises after you pass. But who knows if they would have gotten that much with him not being here. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I just think that's great. Delilah, you know what? You made such a nice comment on that perimenopause video. I don't know if I commented back. I think I hearted it, but I'm going to go back and write a thoughtful reply back. Because you put a lot of time, energy, and effort into that comment. I don't know if I did already. I started typing and then I had to go. Mary says, I'm thinking about doing an interview soon or post on myself, YouTube, regarding why I get serious about losing weight and how I found Zepbound. Well, I told you, Mary, we had one scheduled. We could have had one, but I know you weren't ready. So whenever you're ready, and I didn't say this on the Downsize, but I do interviews. I'm not a great self-promoter, but I do interviews. So if anybody wants to interview, come on. That's how I started to make some of the friendships that I have and some of the contact with people is doing the interviews. And I started out with those interviews interviews because I was looking for people who had been on the medication for a year plus. And then it just blossomed. And, it's only so many of those people that have been. And then it just blossomed into anybody who wanted to share. But my first interview, it was a girl who I saw, Janae Nicole, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. We've made a friendship and a bond. She'll pop in on my Friday lives. I go and check her out. And she's like one of those social media influencer ladies. And she's younger. She could be my daughter. She's much younger, but technically by age. But we're homegirls, right? And she was my first interview. And at the time she interviewed with me, I want to say she had like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. And I just thought that was huge. And at that time, I don't even know if I had 500 when she agreed to interview with me. So I just thought she just was, I just give her a lot of credit from here on out. I would support pretty much anything she does because I just thought that was so cool that she did that. She she agreed to interview with me. So I have some good interviews though coming down the pike. But Mary, I would love for you to be one of those people. Come on over. One day you're going to be like, oh gosh, look at all these people she has on her channel. I gotta get on there. Mary, oh my goodness. And you have a story. So you told me your story already. So I think it's a great one too. She says, regarding women 50 and up, we love that. And there's a lot of women on YouTube that are 50 and up. I'm determined to lose a full 100 pounds since starting Mounjaro by my year. That would make 215. Did you tell us the percentage of your body weight, Delilah? I don't know if you did or not, if you know that. She says, yes, Mary, do it. Mary says, I'm ready. All right, Mary. Okay, I'll be in touch. Dee Dee is a great interviewer. She made me feel super comfortable. Yes. And we had a great conversation. And I do want to follow up with Mindy once she does that triathlon she's going to do. So that'll be so cool. So thank you guys for joining me on a Sunday. I'm headed off to my daughter's class. Gymnastics. I'm a gymnastics mom. I tell her if she want to be a Simone Biles. We're not really at that level, but she's really good. She's come so far. She's really good, and she could probably be with the older kids. As much bopping around as she does, she should be good. And then we're going to the movies, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to do some meal prep. I got a couple of appointments tomorrow with her, so I'm going to be a busy lady. But thank you for joining me. If you have a Brussels sprout what do you call it, recipe, I'm going to put out a post so people could leave it in the comments because I got to get these Brussels sprouts going. And so thank you to the new people I saw in the chat. Thank you for coming in and saying hello, and have a blessed week. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. What time am I on? At 8. I'm on at 8 Wednesday. We got a good topic, so I will see you there. Happy Sunday. Thank you. Bye.